What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Too Much to Watch. I am your host, Sean. Today is an exciting day. Last night was an exciting night. I want to make a quick video real quick to talk about the teaser for The Batman. The Robert Pattinson Batman coming out next year. DC released it last night as part of their DC fandom, their kind of answer to all of the panels that would have happened at San Diego Comic-Con. The big reveals last night. Obviously, we saw the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. We saw Wonder Woman. We saw some Black Adam information, a couple video games, but the big reveal was footage and a teaser trailer. I don't think you can say teaser. It's about 2.5 minutes long for Robert Pattinson's Batman. Directed by Matt Reeves. Very exciting director. Very exciting project. Obviously, the history of it with Affleck leaving the role, leaving the director chair, leaving the writer's chair to move on. Matt Reeves and the casting of Robert Pattinson was pretty great. But we finally saw some footage, and it did not disappoint, at least for me. Kind of poking around the internet, it seems to really have hit fairly positively. And to say the least, this is gritty. We've had some more realistic Batman and some gritty Batman with the Nolan trilogy, which I'll do a video in the future for the Nolan trilogy. But kind of a retrospective of that. But what we're getting for this Batman, man, it just looks incredible. This looks to be early Batman. I think year 2 or 3. I believe it's year 2 of his career. We've got some really dark tones to this. Very brutal Batman, specifically towards the end of the trailer. If you watch it, kind of really taking out some frustrations and some built up anger that Batman tends to have. I personally feel Robert Pattinson is a great casting choice. I've kind of gone away from the idea of getting really excitable and outraged at a casting choice. The last time I feel like I did that was probably when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker, and that really worked out pretty well. Robert Pattinson is a wonderful actor. Really caught some flack for his years in the Twilight series, but has really put together a pretty fine resume. I would definitely recommend if you haven't seen The Lighthouse. Strange movie, but a very well done, very well acted movie. I think he's gonna nail this role from the tone that I see here. Obviously, you don't see a whole lot of Bruce Wayne. You see a lot of brooding, but it certainly hits a tone. This is not connected to the DC universe that's currently going on with Aquaman and Wonder Woman. It's going to be kind of its own thing, which I'm all for. There still will be a Batman there. I think we know that Ben Affleck is coming back for a little bit, at least the Flash movie coming out. Michael Keaton, as we know as well, is coming around to reprise his Batman role for that movie as well. This is going to be standalone, and I think it should. I think they're going for definitely a detective type of a series. Batman's, as we know, is the world's greatest detective. And this really hits hard. We've got some really gritty Riddler in here with Paul Dano playing the Riddler. This is a wonderful cast. They didn't even show you Colin Farrell as the Penguin, but we have Jeffrey Wright, we have Peter Sarsgaard, Zoe Kravitz, obviously Robert Pattinson. We said this is a very talented cast, very talented director and writer, and Matt Reeves. We could really have something special. I think Batman, the franchise of Batman, is a very hard franchise to take on. I think it shouldn't seem that way since it's a comic book, but I think comic book movies have definitely had some reverence over the last 15 years, and Batman is no exception, specifically roles like the Joker and trying to hit that mark of a challenged and dark soul that is Batman. There are some big time Easter eggs in this. I think there's even some reference to the Court of Owls. This could be something really special. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what you're doing here. You need to go stop and just Google the Batman. You're gonna come up with a trailer for sure. But there'll be some clips in this video. There'll be some photos. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. We could really be in for something special. I think we're gonna get just a really dark. I mean, if you thought the Nolan series was dark, this 2.5 minutes is hits the tone pretty hard. And with Nolan, we really got a realism factor, and it looks like we could be getting something very similar to that. What if a billionaire suddenly decided to fight crime, and the suit looks a little crude in certain spots. I know there's been a lot of discussion online about what the symbol is, if it's gun parts. It definitely looks that way. If you go back and look at some pictures and look at the symbol on his chest. We got a shot of the Batmobile, and that doesn't look very much like what we've seen with like the Tumbler and Keaton's car in the 80s and 90s, and even Affleck's kind of a cross between the two. This looks very much more like a muscle car, so it does look like very early stages of Batman. So we got a couple sneak peeks of Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, but this trailer really hit hard for me. I've seen probably 4 or 5 times now, just in a span of a couple hours. Kind of gearing up to make this as well. But that's all I kind of really wanted to say on this. I'm like I said, I'm probably the 4 millionth person online right now that's talked about it. I wasn't able to get a video up last night. But I did want to come back and kind of get my thoughts on this. I was very on board with the Pattinson choice, and this video definitely kind of confirms that. Again, we haven't seen too much of Bruce Wayne. I think we need to see a little bit more, and we will. This movie's not coming out till next year. We saw nothing of Colin Farrell, like I said earlier, so I'd really am interested to see kind of how the story progresses in some of the trailers as trailers come out and the movie gets closer. You get a little bit more sense of what the movie will be and the story will be. But what we're getting right now is definitely something very dark, sinister, and I would love that. Again, I'll make a video in the future about Nolan's trilogy, but Nolan's trilogy is something incredibly special, and hit a tone of what if Batman was real, what would be happening. And this could very much hit that and what an early Batman looks like. So that's all I wanted to say on that. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you very much for coming on in. Hope you get a chance to go check that trailer out. If you haven't seen it before this, again, what are you doing here? But if you stopped, hopefully you came back to this and checked it out. Be sure to like, subscribe, give me comments, what you thought of the trailer down in the comment section. And I'd love to hear what you think, what you ever think about Robert Pattinson, how did the trailer do for him. But his acting chops can pull this off and be that dark and brooding. So I hope this finds you well. I hope to have some videos up in the near future. So again, thanks for stopping by. Peace.